Hey everyone, thank you so much for coming and signing up for this event. Welcome to Dream Chasing 201, the virtual workshop from Connect Volunteering with Danny Levya. Today we're just going to be talking about Danny's journey, what he's done to get to where he is today, and like sacrifices he's made so that we can all kind of learn about how he went about chasing his own dreams and how we can take that into our own lives and apply it. So without further ado, let me introduce you to the fifth youngest MLS debutant, a 2019 MLS Cup winner, and a US Youth National Team player. Danny, go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm Danny Levya. As you introduced me, I'm super excited to be here. I'm just talking a little bit about my journey, how I was able to chase my dream, and I hope to help you guys out, give a little bit of advice, just talk about my journey myself, some of the sacrifices I made, and yeah, just to help you guys out with your own dreams.
All right, awesome. So basically the format of this workshop's going to be, we're going to talk for maybe around 20-30 minutes about some questions I've prepared for him, and then 10 minutes 15 minutes of audience questions. So it'll open up for you guys to ask whatever you want to him. He's an MLS player who plays pro soccer every day of his life. Literally, he will be able to answer any and all questions you have about the sport and what he did to get to the next level. Don't be shy about that. And then at the end, we'll do the giveaway where we give away match-worn jersey and free Sounders tickets. Danny, you want to show the jersey?
Yeah, got it right here. Jersey.
You got the back. Yeah, you wore that in a real MLS game, so that's kind of cool. All right, so let's get started with the questions, yeah?
Yeah, sounds good.
So I want to just start with like, when did you know that pro soccer was what you wanted to do? Did you know from the start, or did you kind of find out a little bit later? When did it happen?
Yeah, so I think my journey started when I started playing soccer. I think I was three years old. So yeah, my family was kind of a big soccer family. My dad played soccer. So ever since I was little, I always had a ball next to my feet, and I just loved the sport overall, and all the emotions and the passion that I had for it was very big, obviously. And I think the big step I took was when I was 14, and I got scouted by the Sounders Academy, and I moved over here to Seattle alone with the homestay family. So I think that was kind of a big step on my own career, deciding whether I wanted to take this to the next level or not. But I think every day since I was little, I was dreaming of becoming a pro soccer player. That was kind of like my only objective, and obviously I had other plans too, to focus on education and stuff like that. But being a professional soccer player was my biggest dream, and I always wanted to do it. So I think ever since I was little, I was always dedicated to putting in the extra work, whether it was training, off training, recovering, watching a bunch of soccer games, learning from the best players in the world. I think that helped me a lot in my journey. So I think, yeah, ever since I was little, but the big step for me was moving here to Seattle when I was 14. That was kind of the biggest step in deciding whether I wanted it or not.
Yeah, that must have been scary, all alone too.
Yeah.
Was it nice with the host family? Like, was that a good experience? How did you feel with that?
Yeah, it was a really good experience. Yeah, it might be tough, like leaving your home, leaving your family behind at 14, going to a different new state, meeting new people. Obviously, you don't have any friends and stuff like that. But I think the club did a really good job at incorporating me with the host family, getting to know them, and having them be like a support system for me. That was a big plus for me in my career. And I think living with other teammates as well in that host family that were in the same situation as me, I think really helped me connect with my teammates and some of those guys that I had to live with for the following year. So yeah, it was tough at first. I was a little bit homesick, but after a while you get used to it, and you know that you're doing it to chase your dream of being a pro soccer player in my case.
Absolutely. How would you describe yourself, like, as a person? Would you be like introverted, extroverted? How would you describe yourself?
I think I'm more of a introverted kind of person. I'm a quiet, really calm guy, I think, off the field. And I think it's kind of like opposite on the field. I like to be a guy that's like loud, communicating, helping my teammates out, always present. But I think off the field, I'm a really calm guy. At times maybe shy, but that's just how I've always been growing up. And yeah, I think just I'm a type of guy that's kind, try to do the right thing always and try to help others. So yeah.
That's awesome to hear. And that just makes it, kind of puts it into perspective how big of a jump that must have been for someone who's introverted to just leave his family, leave everything behind, move up north alone completely and just chase his dream. And I think that goes to show that, like, if you really want something, you have to sacrifice things. And
Exactly.
it comes down to just, he wanted it more than other people and he was willing to do those things, and that's where he is, why he is where he is now.
Right.
Do you think you had a lot of support from the people around you? Did people believe in you? I heard you said that your family was very supportive from the start, like they really were a soccer heavy family, but what about the friends in the area and things like that? Did they believe in you? How was that?
Yeah, I think the support system I had back in Vegas in my early years of my development, I think it was crucial to make me the player I am today and the person I am today as well. I think not only my family obviously is the biggest part in that, keeping me grounded always, teaching me the values of being not only a good player on the field, but also a good person outside of the field. And I think all my coaches that I had in Vegas, my teammates, they always pushed me to keep improving, to keep being a better player no matter what. And I think that's kind of the system that really helped me shape myself into the person I am today and make that jump to coming to Seattle. So I think, yeah, it was a good system I had back in Vegas, and here in Seattle even more, where it's more of a professional system. You have the academy coaches helping you out, the professional coaches, Brian Schmetzer now with the first team staff. I think they really help your development as a player and as a person.
So if you were to single out maybe one person or one or two people who were just extremely crucial to you, who kind of maybe kept you going when you were kind of low, who would you say really, really was your biggest supporter from day one, maybe even?
Yeah, I think it'd be my family. I think my dad, my mom, my sister, and my coaches back in Vegas. I think those were the people that really kept me going. Obviously, in a career and anything you're gonna do, you're always gonna have highs and lows. And I think just being able to keep going in those low moments when things aren't going so well or things aren't going the way you want them to go. And I think having people around you to keep pushing you and supporting you in those difficult moments is crucial. And I think the family is the best support that you could have. They're always in touch with you. They always love you. They always want the best for you. So I think that's kind of the best support I had, my family and my coaches, my early coaches.
Yeah, it must have been nice. Like, did you stay in contact with them all the time, FaceTime or video calling with them and things like that?
Oh yeah, all the time. I always keep in touch with my family every day, call them, video call them. My old coaches too from Vegas and a bunch of my teammates. So like our bond never left, and we're still close. So
Yeah. I think if we kind of take that into perspective in our own lives, obviously this is his perspective as a pro soccer player and that's his dream, but I think that we can take lessons from what he's done and apply it to whatever our dreams are. And in my opinion, this statement that he just made is that there will be people from day one who support you, and it's important for you to keep those bonds near you, keep those bonds close, and cherish it as much as you can, because those are the people who will support you till the end. I think it's awesome what he's done and how he stays in touch with everyone. I mean, I think it's pretty commendable that you also just like could talk to your old coaches as well, because not many people would think to like do that. So one sec. Hey Oindri, so we'll be doing questions and things like that at the end. Thank you. But yeah, so I think if we put that into our own lives, it's keep those closest to you, keep them near you, those who support you the most, because they'll be there for your highest moments and your lowest moments both.
Right.
Okay, moving on. What do you think your favorite memory was playing soccer? Whether it be as a pro, or as a kid, just anything. What's your favorite memory?
I think I had a lot of good memories when I was younger, back in Vegas. But I think one of the most recent ones I think was probably the MLS Cup final. I think just having that final here in Seattle with all our fans against Toronto in a big game like that, and just being able to win that trophy as a team. I think that was like my first professional trophy, being in my first like year as a professional. So I think that's a moment that will always stay with me forever. Just being in that atmosphere, it was a lot of fans in that stadium in CenturyLink. So yeah, I think that's one of the moments that sticks with me.
That must have been crazy. Honestly, how was that? Like, do you think that's the peak? Well, not peak, I guess. How do you think that's the highest point so far in your career?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think in terms of like atmosphere and like the biggest stage, I think that was probably like the biggest stage that I've played at in memory. So, yeah.
It's so crazy. Like all of us, or at least most of us, like watch you on TV, like watch those things happen, the trophy lift and everything, and being able to hear it directly from you, it's like it's a crazy experience. That's awesome, dude. Um, so we just talked about your favorite memory, but and we talked a little about the sacrifices you've made to get to where you are, to maybe even get to that biggest memory of yours.
Right.
But what do you think that means to you, like the sacrifice aspect of it? Would you do it all over again? Make the same sacrifices, make more sacrifices? How, like, yeah, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think sacrificing is a big part of like chasing your dream. I think if it were up to me, I would do it all over again. I think um, this is kind of like my dream since I was a little kid, and this is what I've always wanted to do. And I think sacrificing is a big part of it, and it's kind of like what separates you from the rest. Because there's a lot of young kids or players that want to be in the place you're at or be in the place I'm at right now, or like achieve the same things that you want. So I think kind of like what separates you is the sacrifices you make and like the extra things you do, that are different from what they do. And I think obviously the sacrifices are very important. I think in my case, leaving my family, that was a big sacrifice, but also like not having like the regular life of like a teenager, going partying and like stuff like that, like regular kids could do. Because you could go partying, yeah, but the next day you have training early in the morning, and are you going to perform to the highest level? So I think, yeah, just making those choices, those smart choices. Obviously, not all your choices are going to be good, and you have to learn from them. But I think just being able to recognize when to make those sacrifices, and I think how to make the right decisions, is what's going to help you the biggest in whatever thing you're chasing.
I completely agree. I think that whether you're 6 years old, 20 years old, however old you are, like getting to a level that you can be proud of yourself and really stop and say, okay, I did this, and take a moment to look back at what you've done. I guarantee that when you accomplish something, when you look at the path you've taken, guarantee there's sacrifice in there. Like for every single one of us, no matter what our ages and everything, you have to prepare to be able to take those sacrifices. And Danny's right. It's about setting yourself apart from the norm, from everyone else, because that's what it happens. Like he did it for soccer, for a sport, something that literally billions dream of doing. But for us, it might be something like starting your own company, starting your own business, moving somewhere. It can be something that seems small, but it's huge in terms of our own lives, and that's really what matters at the end of the day. So sacrificing, I really wanted to emphasize that today. It's really important, and I'm glad that Danny had some words of wisdom to help us out there. Um, so sacrificing things and all that must have been hard, but what do you think was like your absolute lowest point?
I think in my personal experience, I think it was obviously since we're athletes. I think injuries. We obviously don't want injuries to happen to us, and I think last year I had like the most injuries I've ever had in my life. I broke my foot. I had a muscle injury in my quad, so I was out for like a really extended period of time. And I think being out for that long, not being able to be with the team, be able to step on the field, and and train and do what I do every day is like what really changes your perspective on things and shows you to be grateful for what you have and what you're able to do. I think having the opportunity to have good health, have the opportunity to do what we love every day is sometimes we take it for granted. And I think in my personal case, when I was injured and I was out of the field for so long, it just made me be grateful for what I have and be grateful for having my family and for having my passion, my career. So I think that was one of my lowest points. I think last year, having those couple of injuries where I was out for so long, it helped me see things differently and prepare things obviously on the field and off the field differently. So I think that was a big moment for me to learn and a big moment of experience.
Yeah, man, that must have been hard.
Right.
Did you ever in your career, whether you were 6 years old or 18, did you ever feel like quitting at any point, or were you always just focused and knowing that this is exactly what it is and you have to do this to get to the next level?
Yeah, I think for me, I don't think I've had that like moment where I wanted to quit or like where I wanted to stop playing soccer. But I mean, obviously, it's different for everyone. I think we all go through different moments, difficult moments, and I think those moments are what define us. And I think sometimes it's gonna push the limits where you just don't want to keep doing stuff. And I think those are the moments where you have to keep going, where you have to stay disciplined and focus and remember why you started doing stuff or why you started doing that thing. Like finding the joy of why in my case I started playing soccer when I was young and that passion. So I think for me, thank God, I haven't felt like that. I felt like quitting yet, and I hope I never do. But I think for other people, I've had close friends that have stopped playing soccer because certain things in their life happen. But I think just being always focused and being grateful for the opportunity to do what we love and remembering why we started doing things is I think crucial for us to keep going and achieving our objectives.
I think so too. I think that even though Danny's never had that moment, like he said, that he hasn't want to quit, I'm sure that most people will at least once or twice. And maybe in the future, maybe Danny might, hopefully not. But I think we'll all come across a point where we're like, is this worth it? Is this what I want? Am I willing to do this? Or should I just give up now? And just like Danny said, you just have to push through, because once you get past that little roadblock, everything starts to fall together. The little pieces of the puzzle will start to come together, and I don't know, I think that that's when you can truly sense whether you love something or not. If you feel like quitting and you do truly quit something, then maybe it wasn't the right thing for you. So quitting isn't always bad, but make sure that you really think through every decision you make and don't rush these sort of decisions. I'm sure a lot of people would want to take certain things back and change certain things about their past, but we don't have that chance to change our pasts. So whatever decisions, big or small, really think about it. Think about what you want to do with that decision and how that's going to impact you in the long run. And hopefully you don't have to quit what you love.
Yep.
Yeah. So how is it trying to balance pro soccer with everything else? I mean, I know you go to school. I know you do like high school. I think you said you're going to pursue college.
Right.
So how do you balance that? Because I'm sure that's a reason that so many people quit, like playing something that they love, because they can't balance it with things that they think are quote unquote more important. So what did you do that kind of helped you?
Yeah, I think like you said, it's tough to balance things. I think in my case, I think balancing like my job, soccer with school and like resting and like family and friends and stuff like that. I think when I first joined the Sounders Academy, we had our online school and we had like a teacher that would help us out there that the club had. And I think she played a big role in keeping me focused and helping me stay balanced, and like whatever help I needed, I could always go to her and like have tutoring sessions or do extra work to learn. And I think the toughest part was always coming back from training. You feel tired and you just kind of don't want to think about school. But I think it's kind of like that moment where you kind of have to force yourself and push yourself to do school. And I think in my case, The online learning helped a lot, obviously, because it was adjustable for my schedule. Like we would train in the mornings, and like I could do my homework later in the afternoon or later the day. So it gave me a really flexible schedule for me that I could like focus on one thing first, and then the next thing I could do school like later in the afternoon and get that done as well. So yeah, it was tough to balance at first, but once you get the hang of it and once you have like a proper schedule and like a calendar you could follow, then it was much easier.
Yeah. What do you think are your future plans at this point? So I'm assuming you want to keep playing pro.
Yeah.
What else on the side, or what else in that realm of soccer?
Yeah, I think obviously right now I'm focused on my professional career playing soccer, but obviously nothing lasts forever. And I think once I'm done playing soccer, I would obviously like to stay involved in soccer. I don't know, maybe like coaching or helping other players. But I think right now while I'm playing soccer, I could also do like my education. I think I'm really into like the business side of areas, and I think maybe starting my own company, my own business. I think that'd be really cool. So I think it's either business, and I like graphic design as well. So maybe after playing, I can do something like that.
Hey Danny, I like business and graphic design too. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah, we're the same.
Um, no, I think that's awesome, and I think it goes to show that Danny seems to have backup plans ready, and I think that was something he thought through. I don't think that was just a random decision he made. I think he knows that when it comes down to it, he's right. Nothing lasts forever, and you need to make sure that you have backup plans ready for yourself. That if this doesn't work out, what am I going to do? And that's amazing. That's how you set yourself up for the rest of your life. So I think that's awesome. I think you're going to do awesome in whatever you want to do, whether that's business, graphic design, both. But I'm excited for you. Let's talk about your some better moments. Like, how is that feeling of finally stepping onto your first full soccer field, like making your debut for the Sounders in front of however many fans? Like, describe that for us.
Yeah. So I think my debut, when I made my debut, was an away match in Montreal. But my home debut here in Seattle, it was my first start. It was an unforgettable moment. I remember walking out of the stadium, walking out of the tunnel into the stadium, and the place was packed. I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous at first, like any young player. But I think once the whistle blows, your nerves just let go, and I think you just do what you've always done, what I've always done, what I always trained for. But yeah, that moment, stepping out in Central League Field with all the fans cheering you on, I think being with all the experienced guys, with my teammates, it was an unforgettable moment. I think I can't describe it in words because that adrenaline and that intensity you feel during the game, it's hard to replicate. And I think, yeah, I just enjoyed it because it's something I've been working for since I was a little kid. And to finally be out there on the field, playing with some of the guys I watched when I was younger on TV, it's just hard to explain, and it's a dream come true.
Yeah, maybe. So we got in this workshop, we got some kids from Connect Soccer, one of the youth programs Connect Volunteering holds. Maybe some of these kids will be playing with you when you're in your 30s. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. I agree. So after achieving so much, like you've done more than so many people have dreamt of doing, and you're 18. You have plans for the future. You have other things, but what keeps you going? What keeps you hungry for more, knowing that you've already kind of done, I don't know, something that billions of people wish they could do?
Yeah, I think kind of what keeps me going is that passion for the game. I think wanting to achieve more, not being content with what I have. I think a big part of that is with my family and my coaches. They always keep me grounded. They always keep me humbled, and I think having that pride and that humbleness to keep going is really big. And I think for me, I also want to go achieve bigger things, play in Europe maybe one day, and become a starter, obviously, and help the team in more ways that I can. I think something that the teammates have helped me on, and my health coaches and my family, is they always tell me, like, the easy thing is to make it pro and to make your debut, but the hard thing is to be consistent and maintain yourself at that high level, because a lot of players have that dream of making it, but like once you're there, it's kind of the difference of what you want to do. Do you want to keep going, or do you want to maintain yourself, or you're just gonna be content with making it pro, or making your debut? So I think that's something that stick with me the most since I was a little kid, and having that support system, like I said, is really big.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So you said you want to play in Europe a little bit. If you had one team to choose from in Europe, what would it be?
My favorite team is Barca. I had to pick FC Barcelona. My favorite team. You're a Madrid fan, aren't you?
Listen, that's not okay. I'm gonna actually ignore that. I'll probably cut that out of the workshop.
The best team in the world. Come on,
bro. Dude, you gotta stop. I'm cutting this section out of the workshop. I'm not letting anyone know you're a Barca fan, bro. Oh, goodness, that's embarrassing for you, dude.
I love
No.
Barca.
Yeah, there you go. I'm all about that.
So, okay, so your overall goals are trying to make it in Europe, trying to get your business started. If you have time for that, of course, balancing things out. If you had just one thing to tell a younger Danny, I know that's a really basic question, but I think it's something that can help some of the younger ones in here know. Like, what would you tell your younger self?
I think something I would tell my younger self, obviously, like maybe a piece of advice or something to help other guys, I think it would be to enjoy every moment you have doing what you're doing, because I think obviously the moments are going to go by and that moment's just going to be in the past. So I think enjoying what you do is going to really help you do things even better. I think enjoying your passion and just having that sense of joy in doing whatever it is, whether it's playing soccer, in your education, or starting your own business, I think having that joy and happiness is gonna help you to soar on to do better things later on. And I think it's like more of a sense of remembering those memories better. And I think if you enjoy your moments, if you enjoy everything you do, you're gonna be a happier person. You're gonna have a happier life. So I think that's one sense of advice.
I think that's good advice. I think I would say just whatever you're doing in your life, have a sense of fulfillment in what you're doing, and feel like you know what you're doing, like you're worth it. This is worth the time, the effort, everything. Because if you don't feel fulfilled in whatever you're doing in your life, then I think you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Whether that be, like I've been saying, whether that be pro soccer or something else, like this isn't about Danny's soccer. This is about how he chased his dream to make it someplace that we all maybe one day would dream of being at a level like that. So whether you just have zero interest in soccer or not, like these are lessons that you can carry on into any facet of your life. And I think that's something that is valuable coming from someone like Danny, who has made it to the first level of his very long career, I'm sure. So I think it's really valuable that we have this time with him, and we have around 30 minutes left of this workshop. I'm not sure if we'll use all 30 or we'll end a little early, but I'm gonna open this up for some questions. If you have any questions in the chat or anything like that, please just write it in the chat. We'll get to each and every one of them if there are a lot, and if there aren't, then I'll just ask a couple more random questions and then we get the giveaway. All right, so I'll give a couple minutes to maybe a minute to get some questions, and then we can start.
All right, perfect.
Oh, there's a question. All right. In your opinion, who's the greatest of all time, the GOAT of soccer, and why?
I think you know this. It's Messi. I think for me, it's Messi. I think not only because of the goals and the assists, but I think he's influential in every part of the game. I think his journey and his path. I'm obviously not taking anything away from Cristiano Ronaldo or any other players, but I think Messi's just on a different level than everyone else. in my opinion. Other people may like other players. Yeah.
You are lucky that this is like supposed to be a quote unquote professional workshop. I would be arguing with you all day about this. Juan's got his camera on showing his little Messi jersey up there.
Wow, lovely. Yes, Juan. Yes. Juan knows. Juan knows.
Oh, I'm telling you. Messi, I could talk about this forever. I'm not even gonna get myself started. I'm not even gonna. But I'll talk to you about this later. Do you have any other questions? Barcelona is my favorite team. You've made a wrong decision in your life, but that's okay. Growing up, who was your soccer idol, Danny?
I think growing up, when I was younger, I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos and YouTube highlights of Ronaldinho. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember. Ronaldinho was one of my favorite players, not my favorite player, I think, growing up, simply because he always had a smile on the field. He always went out there to enjoy himself. He never did to be the best or be better than anyone else. And I think every time he stepped on the field, you could see the joy and the happiness that he had playing with the ball, playing with the team. So I think, he was my idol. He did things on the field that not many other players could do. And I think just that technical elegance from him was something different.
Dude, my dad used to show me clips of Ronaldinho literally every day. He was one of the reasons I started playing. He is magical.
Another level, man. Another level.
All right. Oindri is asking, do you dream of playing in the World Cup?
Yes. I think playing in the World Cup in the biggest stage, representing your country, is one of my dreams, and I think the dream of many players. And I think being able to represent your country in a stage like that just shows that it's a big moment for any soccer player's career, and I think one of the biggest moments for anyone. And I think winning a trophy like that or winning a tournament like that is one of the hardest things to do. And I think not like some of the best players in the world don't win it. I think that shows the quality and the importance of the tournament like that and representing your country, you know. So yes, it's obviously.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
I think there's actually a deeper lesson there, because you're right that some of the best individual players don't win the World Cup. Like Messi hasn't won it, Ronaldo hasn't won it, you know.
Right.
But that's what shows that it's a team game, and that's what shows that in your life, if you want the best, if you want to get to the highest levels of whatever you're doing, you need the people around you. That's why I asked Danny so heavily about his support system, who was there for him, who was the best supporters, and he responded with his family, and that's something that we all have, and I think that's something that we all should cherish, because that's what it is. It's everything. Like, life is honestly a team sport at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you just go through everything with the people around you, and I mean, hopefully they help you get to the levels that you want to. I have a personal question about the World Cup. I know that you could represent Mexico.
Yeah.
All right, this is a little Connect Volunteering insider on Danny Levya. Would you represent USA or Mexico?
I think right now I'm focused with the US. I think right now I was obviously born here in Las Vegas, Nevada, but I think I have a Mexican culture in my background as well with my family. So I think right now I'm focused with the US, but you never know in like the future what holds, and obviously opportunities and things may change. But I think right now I'm 100% focused with the US. I played with them with the national team, with the U17 in the World Cup. So I think right now I'm with them right now. But you know, I've always had a Mexican cultural background behind me. So I think you never know. I think there's an open door for anything, you know.
All right. Okay. You heard it here first. All right. Danny ever switches, we knew. All right. So Nick says, I love how you challenge guys 10 years older than you physically on the field. Then he asks, how do you keep training for that? Mentally? Like, is it a mental thing, or?
I think it's a big part. It has to do with it mentally. I think obviously you're playing against guys that are maybe 10 years older, 5 years older than you, and more experience. Obviously, there's going to be guys that are stronger, faster than you. And I think since we're young and we're still developing, our bodies are still growing. I think a big part of it is the mental side of it. going out on the field and saying to yourself that you're going to compete and you're going to win every duel that you have, whether it's physically or technically or winning the ball back or anticipating. I think not everything, is physical where you have to like bump the guy or slide tackle. Sometimes you could just win the ball back by like reading the game and anticipating a play, maybe intercepting a pass. But like there are going to be moments where you have to get in those physical duels, and I think a big part of it is mentally going into the duels with confidence and not going in weak, because if you go in weak, then that's where you could get hurt. I think it's going in with the mentality that you're going to win the ball. And obviously in the gym, working out after and working on the physical aspect of the game is really important.
Ashvin asks, if you could be on any team apart from the Sounders, what team would you be on? But I'm going to change it because we already kind of asked something similar. Apart from the Sounders and Barcelona.
It's a good question. Maybe I think in England, Man United. It's a big club.
Wrong decisions everywhere, dude. Wrong decisions left, right, and center. Arsenal. That's the right answer there. For anyone who's wondering, Arsenal is the right decision. Okay. Man U, interesting decision. Haley asks, did you always play center mid?
Yes, I always played center mid since I was growing up. I think when I was younger, I used to play more attacking, more like center attacking mid, and like now I moved back a little bit to a little bit of center defensive mid or an 8, kind of like in between, box to box. So yeah, I always played some type of center mid.
Have you ever wanted to play anything else, or have you always just been that center mid type of guy?
I've never really wanted to play anything else. I think I've always been that center mid type of guy. I mean, obviously, I played in different positions back in my team in Vegas. Sometimes, for fun, I'd play keeper. I play keeper and try dribbling up everything for all the team. But I played right back. I played all the positions because my coach used to say, like, if you practice playing in every position, then you have that ability to adapt to anything. So I think, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need footage of young Danny in goal dribbling.
I don't think there's nowhere to be found.
All right. Eric asks, did you or do you ever play futsal to practice? And if you do, do you think it really helps? Do you think it's a bit of practice?
Sometimes when I go back to Vegas, I play futsal with some of my friends or some of my old teammates, and yeah, I think it helps. I think it helps the technical aspect of the game. It helps you increase like your touch and your quick thinking on the field, because you're playing with a different ball, you're playing on a different field. Obviously, it's not grass, so it's a little bit tighter, and you have to be a quick thinker in those tight spaces. So I think it definitely helps you technically, and I think also with the awareness of space. So yeah, I like it.
Have you ever played futsal here?
Futsal here? Nah, never.
I mean, we can change that. You can join a team. You can join a team I'm on, maybe.
I've heard there's a lot of futsal games here. Yeah.
All right. Ooh, Eric Song, another one. Any tips for taking PKs? PKs normally?
I haven't taken one recently. In like trainings, I take some and stuff like that in practice, but not recently in a game. But I think, obviously, we've seen in like some of the recent tournaments, PKs are the deciders for the game. So I think it's a 50-50 chance there. But I think for PKs, I think when you're stepping up, obviously it's different when you have a full stadium and fans cheering you or booing you. It's the nerves that get you. But I think in those moments, it's just the focus and like picking one spot and going there. I think 100%. I think also, obviously, if you train them, it helps. But I think having that confidence and that coolness to step up and have your spot already in your head and knowing where you're gonna shoot, I think that's one advice I would give.
So. Definitely. Juan asks, who would you say is your favorite center mid? He says, I personally think Iniesta or Xavi are the best. I can agree with that.
I have to agree with Juan on this one. I think of all time, I really like them.
Your audio is like being weird right now.
Oh, it's being weird?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's just it's a little weird.
Oh, okay. What's
Perfect.
going on?
We can hear you properly.
All right. I would have to say, yeah, Xavi and Iniesta. Those were two of the midfielders that I watched growing up. And obviously in the 2011 team with Guardiola and Messi and all those guys, I think those were two of the best center midfielders that time. So yeah.
You know who I think the best center mid for me is?
Who?
Ozil.
Oh, Ozil.
Maybe not on the defensive aspects, but
No, but Ozil was insane too.
that vision.
Yeah, his vision is.
Orange. Oh, what's that? Sorry. My bad.
I like Tony Kroos too. Tony Kroos.
Oh yeah. Hey, Madrid player. Are you allowed to do that as like a Barca fan? Is that legal for you?
Yeah, if I like Tony Kroos the way he plays.
All right. Okay.
It's not bad to learn.
My bad. I keep interrupting you. My bad, bro.
You're good.
So Ondri asks if you would play anything except for soccer, what would you play? I'm gonna change that question just a tiny bit. If you would do anything, like even outside of sports, just if soccer did not work out for you, where do you think you'd be right now? Or where do you think you'd want to be in the future?
That's a good question. Honestly, like I said, growing up, I think soccer was kind of like my main focus. But obviously, if I didn't do soccer, maybe I would have to obviously I would continue with my education, maybe like do something with business and stuff like that, kind of like what I'm pursuing now. But maybe I would just put more focus on that area, you know. So.
That's fair. Eric again. Man, Eric has a lot of questions. I like it. He's asking, how do you develop better field vision? That's a really good question.
I think what's helped me as a center mid with vision, I think as I've been training like with the first team and like having help with the coaches that were ex-players, I think just being able to train your technique and like being able to check your shoulder like before receiving the ball, that helps out a lot because it like you're scanning the field before you receive the ball. So I think being able to check your shoulder before you receive the ball and like passing exercise or whenever you're on the field, being able to know what's behind you and know what's around you and know where your teammates are at, I think that helps a lot with vision. And I think something that the coaches have told me is like looking for the furthest pass, I think, when you're on the field before you receive the ball. Because if you look for the furthest pass, you can see everything in between it. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. Oindri asks an amazing question. What's your favorite color?
I was waiting for that one. I would have to go with either green or blue. I think between green or blue.
Hey, where's red, bro? Dude, green or green on any of these, huh?
Green. I'll go with green.
Hey, that's nice though. Sounders colors, green and blue.
Sounders colors, yeah. Blue. Blue.
Okay. Haley asks, best tips after a bad game. And before you answer that, I think this can be taken into account for anything. Again, this doesn't just have to be about soccer. So for Danny, it might be a bad game. For the rest of us, it might be a bad day at school, a bad day at work. And it's how do we recover from that? What do we do mentally? Danny might do it a little bit more soccer oriented because that's what he knows, but I just wanted to let everyone know that this can definitely be applied outside of soccer as well.
Yeah, like you said, it could be anything. Because for me, it's soccer. For other people, maybe school, like you said. And I think after like a bad game for me personally, or whether it's like a bad day for someone else, I think what's really important is being able to reflect on like the day. And I think for me personally in soccer, it's being able to watch the game over again and like see the mistakes I made and being able to recognize the mistakes I made in the game or in training or whatever I do. I think it's being able to recognize those mistakes and be willing to learn by watching video or by being able to remember the game and like visualizing what I did in the game or what I did wrong. I think that's a big key for me to keep improving. So I think, yeah, that's a big aspect of me and my personal game when I have a bad game. You know?
How big do you think the mental aspect of soccer is?
I think it's huge. I think it's a big part of the game, if not most of the game, because you're always thinking in the game of what you're going to do next. And I think in my position, obviously as a center midfielder, before you receive the ball, you have to mentally be quick to make the decision when you get the ball, because there's going to be pressure on you. There's going to be maybe two guys on you, and I think that's an area where I've improved a lot, just being able to think quickly, and obviously not only on the field but off the field. I think mentally being able to recover and to stay focused and disciplined in the objectives and your goals. I think that's crucial.
All right. I think that's great advice. And I think Nick is asking for some very important advice as well. FIFA 21 tips. I play online and the Mexican players destroy me. You got any tips? You play FIFA?
Yeah, I play FIFA. I haven't played recently, but
I would.
I played FIFA. Oh yeah. We could play sometime.
I will play. Dude. Okay. I'll use 1-star India, bro.
Oh, okay. No.
Listen, I'm confident in myself. I can do this. I know it. Anyway,
we'll have to place a bet later.
Oh, okay. Now I'm listening. All right, you have any tips for Nick?
I think for FIFA, maybe, I don't know. I'm not always playing FIFA, but I think it's just practice. I think once you, the longer you play, the better you're gonna get. I think. But I don't know about too much about FIFA like that. Expert, you know.
It's instilling more confidence in me. I just feel better about playing with FIFA now. Talking about FIFA right now. You sound nervous. All right. Eric says, any pregame rituals? And once again, I think this is another thing that if Danny does have any pregame rituals, it's something that you can take into big moments of your life. So games are huge for Danny and for every pro soccer player. For us, like I've been trying to kind of emphasize, this could be a big meeting, a test for school or something like that, your final essay for college, I don't know, meeting a new friend, something small. We might all have different things that'll help us feel more comfortable. Let's hear what makes him feel most at home.
Yeah, I think for me, I have like some pregame rituals. I think I would usually, the day before the game, I try not to think too much about the game, because if you're always like thinking about the game, then like when you get to the game, you're gonna be anxious and you're not gonna have that like time to think or have a clear mind going into the game. And I think the day of the game, I usually wake up, try to get a good night's sleep. Obviously, before the game, I call my parents. They always wish me good luck. I try to talk to them before the game. Pretty sure like every game I call them before the game. So I think that's kind of like my pregame ritual. And I think, I don't have too much after that. I have my playlist I listen to on the way to the game. So
what music do you listen to?
A little bit of rap and a little bit of like Spanish music, some reggaeton and stuff like that. But yeah, not too much pregame rituals. But I usually always call my parents before the game, and it's kind of every day.
Yeah, it literally can be as simple as that. Whatever makes you feel at most home, whatever makes you feel as comfortable as you can before going into those big moments.
Yep.
Eric also asks, by the way, we'll wrap up the questions real soon so that way we can get to the fun part, the giveaway. So Eric asks, would you recommend taking headers when you're younger? I heard it's bad for the brain. Danny, our health expert, is gonna
I mean, obviously there's been more studies recently about like headers and like what age you're allowed to header the ball and how that affects the brain. I mean, when I was younger, I used to practice a lot of headers. Obviously it's a big part of the game, the set pieces or corners, or like in the game in the middle of the field, you have to win headers and stuff like that.
Right.
So I think I don't think you need to header the ball too much when you're younger, obviously with the new studies coming out and how it affects the brain, and especially with concussions and stuff like that. I think it's more about just getting the technique. Obviously not a lot of repetitions, but if you get the technique down, then you should be good headering the ball. But yeah.
That's definitely fair. I have a question. What do you think is more valuable, talent or hard work?
I think hard work for sure. I think that's what's going to take you further than talent. And I think there's a lot of cases, me personally, I've seen, like I've had teammates that were maybe more skillful than me, or they had more talent. And I think what takes you further is the hard work and the resilience, because that stays with you forever. And you could have talent, but if you don't work hard, if you don't work hard to improve it, then what's the point of having that talent? Because you're never gonna improve. You're just gonna stay the same. While there's gonna be players around that improve because they're working harder than you. So
Yeah, what's funny? Like, I think it's pretty well known, like, around the world, that the most hardworking player in the world is Ronaldo. I mean, judging from your own
this is why you asked that
analysis, I mean, I guess you yourself just admitted Ronaldo's better. I mean, that's the end of the story there. Okay, let's move on. What's your diet?
What's my diet?
Yeah, what's your diet? Now, Eric asks. Second to last question.
I mean, right now, obviously, since I moved away from my family back home, I used to have my good homemade meals by my parents and stuff now, but now I have to start cooking by myself, start learning how to cook and stuff like that. So I think your diet's gonna help you a lot, especially since it's your energy for us athletes to be able to perform. So I think just having a good mix of everything. I mean, your veggies, as they say, your veggies. I eat a lot of chicken, salmon, stuff like that. So I think the normal stuff, being able to hydrate as well, especially now when the weather is getting hotter. I think being able to hydrate a lot, drinking a lot of water is kind of what.
Yeah, just make sure we're being healthy, yeah?
Yeah, boys, get the Sprite out.
Get the Sprite, by the way, that was the joke. Yeah, okay. We have one more question from Oindri. I think we already covered it, but we'll just ask it. Do you play any soccer video games?
Any soccer video games? Yeah, I play FIFA. Every once in a while I play FIFA. And that's pretty much the most popular soccer game. So yeah, just play that one.
Still sound nervous about it, dude. Still sound nervous. It's okay. Don't worry. You're a pro. You got this.
Playing mind games.
That's all I'm saying. All right. Well, that's the end of that. We got to 5:55, which honestly kind of surprised me. I think that's all we have for questions. And in terms of value, I think we can do a really quick recap before we do this, and then we can get to the giveaway. What we've all been kind of waiting for, I'm sure. So in general, when we recap what we talked about today, we talked about sacrifice, we talked about support systems, we talked about what it takes, hard work, and how you can go ahead and make your later dreams more attainable. And this isn't like a for sure, like if you follow these steps, everything will be easy, snap, and your dreams are going to be achieved. It's more of a probability type of thing. It's like, if you do these things, the probability of you achieving that sort of success is much higher than if you didn't do these things. And for Danny, there's always a sense of luck. Don't get me wrong. There's always a sense of luck with these players, with jobs, CEOs, everyone. In life, you have to sometimes be lucky, but Danny put in the hard work. Danny made the right sacrifices, separated himself from the norm, and he's where he is today. That's what set him apart. That's why he is who he is. So I think we can all take one or two things from this, and whether it helped you for 5 minutes or 5 years, I think genuinely it doesn't have to change your life, but just hearing it over and over again that this is something you can do. You can reach your dreams if you work hard enough. You can literally do anything you put your mind to if you make the right sacrifices. I think we forget that often and things feel unattainable. So we really want to thank Danny real fast from Connect Volunteering. I really want to thank him for coming and taking time out of his busy schedule. Pro soccer player and all, must be very tired. To just talk to us and just have a little conversation and instill some of his wisdom onto us. Danny, did you have some fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. Chatting with some of the people, with you. So I hope I helped you guys out a little bit and told you a little bit about my journey, some of the things I went through that could maybe help you guys out. So yeah.
All right, awesome. So here we are. We're at the end. Last 4 minutes. We got the giveaway. All right. So let me quickly just put everyone's name into a random generator. So let's do a quick drum roll again, and we'll get to it. Winner of the Sounders tickets is Zana? I don't think she's looking at it. I don't know if she can.
Say hi. Yay.
Yay.
Zana. Free Sounders tickets.
Say thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem.
Awesome.
See you soon.
I'll get either Danny in touch with you guys, or I'll get in touch with you guys, and we can give you those Sounders tickets. Well, he can. I'm not really doing much here. But that's awesome. I'm glad for you guys. And next up, we got the jersey. All right. So quick drum roll for the Free Sounders jersey. All right, the winner is Rishi Hazra. Rishi, if you are here,
Thank you. Very happy about this one.
Hey yo.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No problem.
get in touch with you about, I don't know, sending it over or something like that, figuring out how to get it to you. But yeah, that's awesome. Congrats, dude. Maybe Danny will sign it for you, and then when he's a big player in Europe, years from now, you could just be like, yeah, I have this.
For sure.
All right, awesome. Okay, that's all I got. If Danny wants to say anything to end it off, if anyone else wants to say anything, I just really want to quickly say thank you guys so much for coming. This is, I think, our third ever workshop. We held 2 other ones, and I love doing this. Like, I love doing this, connecting people with, I don't know, people who know what they're doing, who quote unquote have success and things like that. That way we can see what we can do to, you know, get to that next part of our lives and see what we can do to improve upon ourselves. So I had a lot of fun today. I'm sure a lot of you did, those of you who weren't playing video games in the middle of it. But for everyone else, I'm really, and even those who were playing video games, I'm really glad you guys came and just listened to Danny and I talk a little bit about, I don't know, his life, his hard work, and recognize that he's done so much and he has so much more to go. So thank you.
It really feels like you're interviewing Danny.
I guess I kind of am, just a little bit. I kind of am. But thank you guys so much for coming again. Danny, if you want to say a couple of last words or anything, and then we can end this off.
Yeah, I think like Raj said, thank you guys for having me on here. It's something cool to connect with the community and connect with people like you guys who are trying to chase their dreams. So yeah, I was really excited to be here. I had a lot of fun. Keep chasing your guys' dreams, no matter what. Always have fun, enjoy what you do, and yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna end this meeting. Thank you guys so much again for coming.
Bye.
The next one, yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
I don't know how to. Oh, there.
Bye, guys.
Leave.
Bye, everyone. All right, I'm ending it.